Good morning, everyone, and thank you for starting your day off with me. I'm Jenna Stauffer. Today I'll be joined by two candidates for the 2012 election, John Welsh and Matt Gardy. I'll also be speaking with mental health counselor Bev Allen. But first I want to talk about heart disease. Now, if you're like most people, you probably think it's a problem for other folks, not you. But the truth is, heart disease is the #1 killer in the U.S., so it can affect each and every one of us. There are a number of steps that can be taken to reduce your risk of heart disease, and we're going to touch on this morning with my first guest. He's a local cardiologist whose primary focus is nutrition and prevention. Giovanni, thank you so much for being with me today.
Jenna, thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Now, Giovanni, I think you have a very impressive background, and I'd like you to share that with our viewers this morning, if you could.
Well, I came down to the Keys about 2.5 years ago to start the heart program and the cardiac cath program at the Lower Keys Medical Center. I was in practice in New Jersey and in Manhattan, and we started off a practice of interventional invasive cardiology, and for the first time in the Keys, we're able to take care of heart attacks with stents, and which is the best way to take care of patients that are having a heart attack. Now, my other area of focus is nutrition. You know, I did my cardiology training up in Boston in the Harvard system, and I had a very good exposure to nutritional risk factors in the Framingham Heart Study, and my focus is nutrition and prevention, which is, I think, the best way to deal with these type of problems is by not having the problem to begin with, by preventing it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about some of the steps that people, can take to prevent their risk of heart disease.
Oh, there's a lot of steps that can be taken. You know, first of all, like as you mentioned, heart disease is the #1 killer, is the #1 problem that causes severe disease and death in most Americans, including women. A lot of women think that breast cancer is the #1 killer, but it's not. It's heart disease. So, and for the most part, it's mostly preventable. You know, we're all born with, most of us are born with perfect genes, and the environment is what affects these genes. And how we express those genes is whether we are well or whether we develop disease. And one of the biggest, most important environmental factors is our nutrition. And so actually you can manipulate how your genes are expressed by the most powerful drug that we know of, and that's food.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what are some of the best foods for people, to be eating, or I should say the worst foods too that they need to avoid?
Well, there's a big emphasis now on looking at inflammation as a cause of heart disease. And if someone is on a good nutritional program, the inflammatory state in the body will go down, and you won't develop a lot of the heart problems or degenerative diseases such as heart disease, arthritis, cancers, and other degenerative diseases. There's a direct correlation between this. In fact, there was a very interesting study done in Lyon, France. It's one of the only studies of its kind, where patients were taken with a typical American diet and compared to a Mediterranean type, low fat, low cholesterol, high olive oil, omega-3 type of diet, and they had a 30% reduction in their risk of heart disease and strokes. It's better than any drug we have. So it's just, and it happened at any age, even patients in their 70s or 80s that adhere to this better diet reduce their risk, which is amazing. And that's all, again, the changes in our genes that occur because of what we eat.
What are some red flag foods that people just need to be staying away from?
Well, in the United States, there's a lot of fads, and a lot of people think that carbohydrates are the enemy, carbohydrates or fats are the enemies, or proteins is a friend. It's the quality of the food is the most important thing. All carbohydrates are not the same. Refined white flour type of carbohydrates is very bad because the glycemic index is high. It causes insulin levels to go up very quickly, and turns into a vicious pattern of diabetes and obesity. So we have evolved over thousands, hundreds of thousands of years with the plants around us. So high quality carbohydrates have all the nutrition and the co-nutrition factors. High quality organic carbohydrate diet is also is the best thing you can have. Included with that is high quality protein, high quality foods, especially meats that are from grass-fed organic beef. You know, that's a good food. Organic chickens that are not from factory farms but are from free range, and they eat you know, things that are directly from the sun. These are all good things for you.
Okay. Now, what about the role of exercising? We can get out of nutrition for a minute. What does the role of exercising play on heart disease?
A significant role. The data on exercise is remarkable. If you exercise vigorously 1 day a week, you can reduce your risk of heart disease, again, about 30%. If you do it 5 days a week, up to a 90% risk reduction. So, and the theories about why that is helpful varies, but the current concept is that the more you exercise, the more the inner lining of your arteries, both in your heart, you're going to your brain, all over your body, gets stronger. So it tends not to break down, and that's where the atherosclerosis builds up, is from the breakdown of that inner lining. So that inner lining gets stronger, and it protects you from major catastrophic heart disease.
Okay, great. Now, if people want more information from you, can they visit you at your practice, or what's the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, if anyone has concerns, I'm available in my office to answer questions, and you know, we see patients for both you know, treatment and preventive disease on a regular basis.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for sharing all of this with us this morning, Giovanni.
Oh, it was a pleasure being here. Anytime.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a quick break, but when I return, I'll be back with certified mental health counselor Beth Allen. Stay with me.